And now it's time for 3x3 Experiment by JCD. Comparing stories from ABC, CBS, and NBC. The never-ending 3x3.
Persons of interest in a wave of bomb threats to historically black colleges and universities. A law enforcement official says they're all juveniles across the country who appear to be using tech-savvy methods to try and hide their trails. None has been publicly charged. The FBI is investigating the threats as hate crimes. In Virginia, the suspect accused of fatally shooting 2 campus officers at Bridgewater College on Tuesday made his first court appearance today. The 27-year-old former student was arraigned on murder charges. The small private college said the 2 slain officers were good friends and were known on campus as the dynamic duo.
President Biden is meeting with New York City's new mayor tomorrow to discuss the wave of gun violence plaguing America's cities. Illegal guns are a big part of the problem, especially ghost guns that can be easily purchased with no background checks. CBS's Jeff Pegues has an exclusive interview with the top federal official in charge of getting those guns off our streets.
Dion, it's Houston Police. Let's do this thing. God.
If you're looking for a reason why crime is spiking,
keep your hands so I can see them. What are you doing?
The ATF says unregistered and untraceable homemade weapons are key. So-called ghost guns can be made on a 3D printer. This is a ghost gun. We're going to try it out. It's something that you can produce on a printer that costs less than $200. Earl Griffith, an ATF firearms officer, says a small conversion device like this one can turn a legal semi-automatic handgun into an illegal machine gun. How many rounds a minute was that?
So that was about 30 rounds.
30 rounds?
Yes.
So you essentially emptied the clip?
Emptied the magazine of 33 rounds, yeah. Conversion
parts are so easy to make that we watched as this 3D printer assembled one in about 45 minutes. Marvin Richardson is the acting director of the ATF. How have ghost guns complicated the job of ATF agents?
You can buy a box of firearms parts and you can assemble those firearms together. And I've seen videos on YouTube where you can see people doing it in record time, 20, 23 minutes.
Last year, police in Chicago seized over 400 ghost guns, New York over 200. Richardson says so-called trigger pullers, criminals, and gang members using guns are well known to law enforcement.
So what we've learned is that those people that we go after have an average of 8 arrests prior to us having that contact with them.
8 arrests.
And in many instances, 8 violent criminal arrests.
And Jeff Pegues joins us now with more of his excellent reporting. So, Jeff, these ghost guns, obviously a big problem, but they're not the only reason for the spike in crime, right?
Well, that's right. If you talk to law enforcement, they'll tell you it's the court system at times shutting down because of the pandemic. In some cases, it's a revolving door. They arrest the suspects, and the suspects get right back out on the streets.
Jeff, thank you.
Back here at home tonight, and a former student at Virginia's Bridgewater College has now been charged in the fatal shooting of 2 campus officers there. Students and faculty mourning the shocking loss. Officers John Painter and J.J. Jefferson, known as the dynamic duo on campus. They were the best of friends. And tonight here, video as the suspect was taken down. Pierre Thomas in Virginia.
This is the dramatic moment when police track down and arrest the man they say killed 2 of their own. Guns drawn, police demand Alexander Campbell to surrender. This photograph capturing just before he's handcuffed, stretched out and on the ground shirtless. Campbell arrested after a brief manhunt following a nightmarish day for Bridgewater College.
2 officers did succumb to their injuries on campus.
Around 1:20 p.m. a day ago, a report of a suspicious man on Bridgewater's campus. Campus police officer John Painter and safety officer J.J. Jefferson are immediately shot after a brief encounter near a building that houses classrooms and offices.
I heard what were 3 loud pops.
My roommate and I immediately locked the door. We barricaded it.
Today, students and staff gathering to remember the men known as the dynamic duo. Close friends, Painter even serving as the best man in Jefferson's wedding.
This could have been much worse if they weren't so heroic.
No, I think that, I think we all know that. They sacrificed their lives for the safety of this community. It's unimaginable, unspeakable.
David, the suspect is a former student of the school, and court records show he was found guilty of trespassing in 2017 after being banned from a campus building. He now faces the death penalty if evicted. David?
All right, Pierre Thomas in for thank you. Here in New York City tonight, another somber day, the funeral for NYPD officer Wilbert Mora. He and his partner were shot and killed responding to a domestic call for help. Thousands of officers, a sea of blue today, standing vigil outside St. Patrick's Cathedral. Officer Mora died in the hospital 4 days after he was shot, in a final act of service, donating his organs to save the lives of 5 others. There are new developments tonight after those bomb threats targeting more than a dozen historically black colleges and universities. The FBI Joint Terrorism Task Force is now investigating these cases as hate crimes. A law enforcement source says at least 5 persons of interest have been identified across this country. No arrests have been made yet. No explosive devices have been found in any of the schools.
Important conversations for sure.